The Great Galactic War rages on. As we explored in the last video in this series, the Republic, although on the back foot, had just secured a crucial victory on the planet of Bothowui and morale was on the rise. But still, entire systems had fallen to the Sith war machine, and with every battle lost, the Republic seemed closer to collapse. As we delve deeper into these pivotal moments, we'll uncover how the galaxy's fate was shaped by the cunning strategies of the Sith, the enduring strength of the Republic, and the ominous shadow of the Sith Emperor's ultimate plan, a scheme far darker than the galaxy could imagine. In 3668 BBY, not long after the Republic's first major victory, a mysterious and terrifying new threat emerged from the shadows of the Great Galactic War. Republic warships began disappearing without a trace, often leaving behind nothing but panicked distress signals and a void where once mighty vessels stood. The Republic's military efforts, already strained by years of intense conflict, began to buckle under the weight of this unseen force. It wasn't until Republic intelligence, through its agents in the Strategic Information Service, uncovered the cause of the Republic's failing fleets, an ancient group of Sith Lords known as the Dreadmasters. Their legend had been built over centuries, originally serving as trusted advisors, generals and prophets to the Sith Emperor. They spent years in secluded meditation on Dromund Kaas, the Sith capital world, refining their abilities. Rarely seen outside their inner circle, they would only break from their meditation to offer guidance to the Emperor or to accept new disciples. Their bond was so deep, their minds so connected, that they became virtually inseparable in their power. These 6 Sith Lords wielded a terrifying form of Sith battle meditation, not unlike that which had been seen in the Sith of old. But where others used battle meditation to inspire and coordinate their forces, the Dreadmasters took it to a new and horrific level. Their dark power stemmed from the ancient Phobos devices, artifacts of unimaginable potency. They could project crippling fear into the hearts and minds of entire fleets, sending soldiers fleeing for their lives, abandoning their posts in a state of uncontrollable terror. For the Republic, this new enemy had to be dealt with swiftly if they hoped to retain any chance of holding the line against the Sith Empire. The Dreadmasters, though, were elusive, constantly on the move aboard a Harrower-class dreadnought that served as their base of operations. This mobility made it nearly impossible for the Republic to track them down, allowing them to continue their reign of terror across the galaxy. For 13 years, they wreaked havoc on Republic fleets, with their location and true identities remaining a closely guarded secret within the Empire. However, in a stroke of fortune, the Republic's Strategic Information Service intercepted communications that revealed not only the identities of the Dreadmasters, but also their location. A strike team, led by Jedi Knight Jarek Kaden, was assembled. Their mission was simple: infiltrate the Dreadmasters' dreadnought, capture them alive if possible, and gather any intelligence that could aid the Republic in the wider war. The operation was fraught with danger. The Republic forces would have to brave not just the physical defenses of the Imperial ship, but also the mental onslaught of the Dreadmasters' battle meditation. Fear itself would be their greatest enemy. Despite the overwhelming odds, the mission was a success. Kaden and his elite strike team managed to board the dreadnought, resist the Dreadmasters' mental assault, and capture the 6 Sith Lords. The Republic not only succeeded in removing one of the Sith Empire's most dangerous assets, but also retrieved valuable data from the Dreadnought's computers. The Republic, however, did not publicize the capture of the Dreadmasters. Instead, they spread false reports claiming the Sith Lords had been killed during the strike. In reality, the Dreadmasters were transported in secret to the Republic prison world of Belsavis, where they were confined in the Tomb, a maximum security section designed to hold only the most dangerous and powerful of criminals. The Republic deemed the Dreadmasters too valuable to simply execute, although as we shall see in later episodes, this was a grave mistake. With the Dreadmasters neutralized, the Republic could breathe a little easier, at least for a time. The capture of the Dreadmasters had an unexpected side effect. It revealed the location of the Sith Empire's capital, Dromund Kaas. Until this point, the Republic had been in the dark about the Empire's true seat of power. For over a decade, Dromund Kaas had remained hidden, its location unknown even to the Jedi archives. The intelligence recovered from the Dreadmaster's dreadnought was a goldmine of information for Republic intelligence. Even more startling was the confirmation that the Sith Emperor was indeed the ancient, immortal being that had been whispered about in the dark corners of the galaxy. The war had been raging for over 13 years, and now the Republic understood just how deeply entrenched their enemy was. In the years following the capture of the Dread Masters, the Sith Empire turned its sights on one of the Republic's most important and symbolic worlds, Alderaan. Known for its commitment to peace, diplomacy, and the ideals of the Republic, Alderaan represented everything that the Empire sought to destroy. The capture of Alderaan would not only give the Empire a strategic foothold in the core worlds, but it would also deal a devastating blow to the Republic's morale. The assault was led by Darth Malgus, a Sith Lord who had already earned a reputation as one of the Empire's most ruthless and effective commanders. Recently granted the title of Darth, Malgus saw the invasion of Alderaan as an opportunity to cement his legacy within the Empire. He devised a cunning plan to lure Alderaan's defense fleet away from the planet, leaving its surface vulnerable to attack. With the defense fleet out of position, Malgus and his forces launched a surprise assault on the planet. His strategy was swift and brutal. The Imperial army quickly overran several key positions, including the capture of the Alderaanian royal family. But Alderaan was not without its defenders. Unknown to Malgus, Alderaan was home to a substantial Republic garrison, including the elite Havoc Squad, a group of highly trained soldiers capable of turning the tide in any battle. As the Imperial forces pressed their advantage, Havoc Squad launched a counter-offensive, striking at the heart of Malgus's forces. The battle that ensued was one of the bloodiest of the war. Imperial and Republic forces clashed in the dense forest of Alderaan, with neither side able to gain a decisive advantage. It was during one of these skirmishes that Jedi Knight Satele Shan arrived, leading a force of Republic reinforcements. Shan, a hero of the Republic and the descendant of legendary Jedi Bastila Shan and Revan, had faced Malgus once before, during the Battle of Korriban, where her master had been slain by the Sith Lord. Now, more than a decade later, they would face off once again. In the midst of the chaos of war, the two powerful Force users clashed in a titanic duel. But Satele had grown stronger in the years since their last meeting. Her connection to the Force had deepened, and she fought with the calm focus of a Jedi Master. The duel was a testament to the skill and power of both combatants. Lightsabers clashed, the Force surged, and the very ground seemed to tremble beneath their feet. In the end, however, it was Shan who emerged victorious. She critically wounded Malgus, forcing him to retreat from the battlefield. Though Malgus survived the encounter, his defeat was a significant blow to the Sith forces. With Malgus wounded and the Imperial forces in disarray, the Republic and Alderaanian defenders were able to drive the Sith back. Alderaan had been saved, and the Republic's victory on the planet marked a turning point in the war. In the months that followed, the Republic would go on to reclaim several key systems in the Mid-Rim and regain a foothold in the Minos cluster. Following the Empire's defeat at Alderaan, it became clear that the direct approach to conquest had its limits. As a result, the Sith Empire recognized the need for new strategies. The Dark Council decided to expand their approach, relying on more cunning and calculated tactics. This new strategy focused on weakening the Republic from within and enlisting powerful allies to disrupt the Republic's supply lines and strategic positions. The Empire had long understood the destructive potential of the Mandalorians. Historically, the Mandalorians were responsible for some of the Republic's greatest struggles. Centuries earlier, the Sith Emperor had manipulated the Mandalorians into attacking the Republic, sparking the Mandalorian Wars. Now, the Empire sought to reignite that old alliance. In a bold and manipulative move, Imperial intelligence identified a powerful Mandalorian warrior on Geonosis, who was climbing the ranks of the gladiatorial combat scene. Behind the scenes, Imperial agents worked tirelessly to bolster his reputation, sabotaging his rivals and ensuring his rise to power. By carefully orchestrating his ascendance, the Empire planted the idea that this warrior could be the next Mandalore, capable of uniting the scattered Mandalorian clans. Their strategy paid off. The warrior declared himself Mandalore, claiming the title and uniting the Mandalorians under his leadership. However, this new leader was a willing servant of the Sith Empire. This alliance would soon prove to be a devastating weapon in the Empire's arsenal. As the war entered its third decade, both the Republic and the Sith Empire turned to more desperate measures. One of the most significant clashes in this period was the Battle of Hoth in 3665 BBY. The Mandalorian clans, now united under their new Mandalore, were eager to prove themselves in battle, and the Sith Empire wasted no time in giving them their first mission. The Mandalorians were ordered to blockade the Hydian Way, the Republic's most crucial trade route. This blockade, implemented around 3662 BBY, would cut off the Republic's access to vital supplies and raw materials. With the Hydian Way in Mandalorian control, the core worlds of the Republic were soon starved of resources. The blockade had devastating effects on countless worlds, including Coruscant, where shortages led to riots and widespread unrest. The Republic's desperate attempts to break the blockade, including a Jedi-led attack, were unsuccessful. The Mandalorians crushed the Republic fleet and forced them to retreat to Deveron, further deepening the Republic's logistical nightmare. For the Republic, the blockade threatened not only their ability to continue the war, but the very stability of their government. Riots and unrest on Coruscant soon sparked discussions within the Galactic Senate about the possibility of surrendering to the Sith Empire. Just as the Republic's situation seemed its most dire, an unexpected hero emerged. A smuggler named Hylo Vis, driven by the potential for great profit, decided to take matters into her own hands. She organized a fleet of smugglers to break the Mandalorian blockade. Vis's plan was as daring as it was brilliant. She loaded a convoy of freighters with critical supplies from the Outer Rim and had them approach the blockade, holding position just outside the Mandalorian patrols. Ignoring hails from the Mandalorians, the freighters continued to drift closer, prompting the Mandalorians to prepare for an attack. This was exactly what Vis had hoped for. As the Mandalorian ships closed in on the freighters, a fleet of smuggler starships dropped out of hyperspace behind the Mandalorians and launched a surprise attack. The Mandalorian fleet was caught off guard, and the smugglers began to dismantle the blockade. Seeing an opportunity, the Republic SIS, which had been monitoring the situation, scrambled to send reinforcements. Republic ships and Jedi Knights soon joined the battle, turning the tide decisively in favor of the Republic. The Mandalorian blockade was broken, and Mandalore himself was slain in the battle or shortly thereafter. Though a new Mandalore would rise to take his place, the Mandalorians ceased to be a major threat to the Republic for the remainder of the war. With the Hydian Way blockade broken, the Sith Empire sought to regain its momentum by launching an invasion of Ord Radamar, a planet in the Outer Rim. The initial invasion, led by Darth Venamal and Darth Malgus, was a success. The Sith forces captured the planet's capital city, but the victory would soon turn sour. The Imperial forces on Ord Radamar were left without reinforcements, and the longer they held the capital, the more precarious their situation became. Eventually, Republic reinforcements arrived and launched a counterattack. In the ensuing battle, one of Malgus's Harrower-class dreadnoughts was critically damaged, sending the massive ship crashing into the capital city. The destruction was catastrophic, obliterating the city and turning the tide in the Republic's favor. With their fleet destroyed and Darth Venamal killed in battle, the Sith forces were forced to retreat from Ord Radamar. With the victory at Ord Radamar and the breaking of the Hydian Way blockade, the Republic began pressing its advantage, launching a series of counterattacks into Imperial territory. One of the most audacious moves came when the Republic launched a siege on Ziost, a key world deep within Sith space. Ziost was a strategic target, located close to both Korriban, the ancient Sith homeworld, and Dromund Kaas, the Imperial capital. By establishing a foothold on Ziost, the Republic hoped to disrupt the Empire's supply lines and put themselves within striking distance of the Sith's core worlds. For months, Republic forces battled the Imperial defenders in a bloody and protracted siege. The fighting was fierce, and both sides suffered heavy casualties. Eventually, however, the Empire managed to rally its forces and drive the Republic off the planet. The failure to hold Ziost was a setback for the Republic, but it demonstrated the Empire's growing desperation to defend its inner territories. With the Republic's counter-offensive stalled, the Sith Empire turned once again to Darth Malgus, who had been a key player in many of the war's most important battles. the Empire tasked Malgus with retaking Ord Radamar, which had been lost to the Republic following his previous defeat there. But before returning to Ord Radamar, Malgus set his sights on Serenno, a world with significant Jedi presence. Serenno had become a staging ground for Jedi operations in the Outer Rim, making it a key target for the Sith Empire. Malgus launched a swift and brutal assault on the planet, but his initial attempt to kill Jedi Master Ven Zallo, who had been stationed on Serenno, was unsuccessful. Zallo escaped the Sith assassin sent to eliminate him, but Serenno itself fell to the Sith with minimal effort. After securing Serenno, Malgus returned to Ord Radamar with a renewed determination to succeed. This time, he personally commanded the Sith forces, and the battle was far bloodier than before. The Jedi defenders employed a series of traps and guerrilla tactics that slowed the Sith advance, but Malgus's forces eventually broke through. The planet's capital city, New Raido, was devastated in the fighting, and by the end of the campaign, Ord Radamar was once again under Imperial control. But despite these victories, the Sith Empire failed to regain the momentum it had earlier on in the war. Faced with the possibility of a prolonged stalemate, the Dark Council decided on a bold and aggressive strategy to end the war once and for all. 7 years after the defeat of the Mandalorians at the Hydian Way, the Empire made an unexpected move. They offered the Republic the opportunity to negotiate a peace treaty. The offer seemed suspicious to many within the Republic, particularly the Jedi Council, who warned that the Empire's proposal could be a trap. Despite these concerns, the Senate agreed to negotiate, hoping that a peace agreement would bring an end to the Republic's suffering. Grandmaster Zim dispatched a delegation of Jedi to accompany the Republic's diplomats to Alderaan, where peace talks would take place. However, the Jedi's fears were soon realized. While the peace talks were underway on Alderaan, the Sith Empire launched a surprise attack on Coruscant, the heart of the Republic itself. Darth Malgus, who had become one of the Empire's most feared commanders, led the assault. The Sith fleet bombarded the planet, while Malgus and his forces launched a devastating ground assault on the Jedi Temple. In a brutal display of power, Malgus and his Sith warriors slaughtered the Jedi defenders and destroyed the temple, leaving Coruscant in ruins. With the Jedi Temple burning and Coruscant in chaos, the Sith Empire took control of the planet. Darth Angral, another prominent Sith Lord, stormed the Senate building and personally executed Supreme Chancellor Baruchan, taking control of the Republic's government. The occupation of Coruscant was complete. Faced with the destruction of their capital and the occupation of Coruscant, the Republic's negotiators on Alderaan were left with no choice. The Treaty of Coruscant was signed, officially ending the Great Galactic War. The terms of the treaty were harsh, forcing the Republic to cede control of numerous worlds to the Sith Empire and recognize the Empire's dominion over half the galaxy. For the Republic, it was a bitter defeat. While the Republic still existed, it had been dealt a crippling blow, and the Sith Empire emerged as the dominant power in the galaxy. The war had ended, but the stage was set for the next chapter in galactic history, a Cold War between the Sith Empire and the Galactic Republic. A fragile peace that would last only until the inevitable return to open conflict. Yet, the Sith's uncharacteristic decision to make peace had a darker reason. Having fed on the chaos of 3 decades of war, the Emperor was nearly ready to enact his final plan, the destruction of all life in the galaxy and his ascension to godhood. Join us next time where we will explore the Cold War, an era of proxy wars, spies and superweapons, as well as the return of Revan and his quest to stop the Sith Emperor's insane machinations.